Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a place where reality often feels more unbelievable than fiction. A country where cities sink, volcanoes erupt beside villages, fiestas turn entire towns upside down, and people smile through storms that would break most nations. This is the Philippines. Raw, emotional, chaotic, beautiful, and wildly misunderstood. What you're about to hear isn't just a list of facts. These are stories carved into islands, shaped by disasters, survival, humor, and an unbreakable human spirit. Some of these truths sound exaggerated. Others feel impossible. But every single one is real. And by the time this video ends, you won't just see the Philippines differently. You'll understand why the world can't stop being shocked by it. The Philippines isn't just made of islands. It's made of over 7,600 of them, scattered like shattered glass across the Pacific. And here's the wild part. No one agrees on the exact number. Some islands appear only during low tide. Others vanish after storms. Entire landmasses rise and sink depending on the season. There are islands with no names, islands no human has ever stepped on, and islands so small you can walk across them in seconds. Imagine a country where geography itself refuses to stay still. For Filipinos, this isn't trivia, it's daily life. Boats are highways. The ocean is both a neighbor and a threat. Distance isn't measured in kilometers, but in waves, tides, and weather. This country sits directly on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most dangerous geological zones on Earth. Earthquakes are common. Volcanoes dot the landscape like sleeping giants. And yet, millions of people live beside them without fear. Why? Because danger here is normalized. Mount Mayon, one of the most perfect cone-shaped volcanoes in the world, has erupted over 50 times. Yet towns still thrive at its base. Children grow up knowing evacuation routes the way others learn street names. When the ground shakes, people pause, pray, and continue. Survival isn't dramatic here. It's practiced, inherited, and deeply embedded in culture. Now here's something that sounds unreal. The Philippines experiences around 20 typhoons every single year. Some years even more. Winds strong enough to tear roofs apart. Floods that swallow entire streets. Storm surges that rewrite coastlines. And yet, Filipinos rebuild again and again. There's a saying locals live by. Bahala na. It loosely means, whatever happens, we'll face it. It's not recklessness. It's resilience. When a storm destroys a home, neighbors show up before government aid does. When power is gone, laughter fills the dark. Tragedy doesn't erase joy here. It sits beside it. The Philippines holds one of the most shocking contrasts on Earth. Extreme poverty and extreme happiness coexisting in the same streets. You'll see children playing barefoot beside luxury malls. Jeepneys painted in neon colors stuck in traffic next to brand new skyscrapers. And despite the hardship, surveys repeatedly rank Filipinos among the happiest and most optimistic people in the world. Why? Because joy isn't postponed until life gets easier. It's created in the middle of chaos. Birthdays are celebrated even with borrowed food. Karaoke blares after funerals. Smiles aren't ignorance, they're resistance. Speaking of jeepneys, these are not just vehicles. They're moving works of art, born from leftover American military jeeps after World War II. Each one is customized, painted, blessed, and named. Some have disco lights. Some have religious icons. Some blast hip-hop, others play love ballads from the 1980s. There is no standardized design because jeepneys reflect the personality of their drivers. They're loud, cramped, confusing, and impossible to replace. When modernization threatened to remove them, public outrage exploded. Because in the Philippines, transportation isn't just about getting from point A to B. It's about identity. Filipinos speak English, but not the way you expect. The Philippines is one of the largest English-speaking nations in the world, Yet conversations flow effortlessly between English, Tagalog, and dozens of regional languages, sometimes in the same sentence. This phenomenon, known as Taglish, sounds chaotic but feels natural to locals. It reflects a history shaped by colonization, trade, and adaptation. Language here isn't rigid, it's fluid. A sentence can start in English, switch to Tagalog for emotion, then end in slang only locals understand. It's not confusion, it's cultural evolution in real time. Food in the Philippines is an emotional experience, not just a meal. Dishes reflect survival, scarcity, creativity, and celebration. There's a famous delicacy involving a duck embryo eaten straight from the shell. Another dish uses vinegar to preserve meat long before refrigeration existed. Meals aren't rushed. Food is shared, even with strangers. If you visit a Filipino home, you will be offered something to eat whether they have plenty or not. Refusing feels almost offensive. Because feeding others isn't generosity here. It's instinct. Hunger is remembered. Sharing is tradition. Here's a fact that shocks outsiders. Filipinos laugh at danger. When floods rise, jokes flood social media faster. When earthquakes hit, memes appear within minutes. This isn't denial, it's coping. Humor is armor. In a country repeatedly tested by nature and politics, laughter becomes survival equipment. Keeps fear from taking control. Keeps people human. This ability to joke through hardship is often misunderstood, but it's one of the Philippines' greatest strengths. When everything feels out of control, humor gives people something solid to hold on to. And then there's family. Perhaps the strongest force in Filipino life. Family here isn't nuclear. It's expansive, overwhelming, and deeply binding. Cousins feel like siblings. Neighbors become relatives. Elders are respected, cared for, and listened to. Overseas workers send money home not out of obligation but love. Sacrifice is normalized. Millions leave the country every year to support those they love, enduring loneliness so others can survive. This sense of collective responsibility shapes everything, from politics to personal decisions. And as we move forward, this powerful bond will explain why the next facts are even more unbelievable. That powerful sense of family extends far beyond the home and into the streets, the workplace, and even strangers you've never met. In the Philippines, hospitality isn't a slogan, it's a reflex. Visitors are treated like long-lost relatives, fed without being asked, and welcomed even when resources are limited. It's common for families to rearrange sleeping spaces just to accommodate a guest. And while this warmth feels extraordinary to outsiders, for Filipinos, it's simply how life works. Community fills the gaps where systems fail. When institutions struggle, people step in. This collective mindset is why, despite countless challenges, society here continues to function. Now here's something truly wild. The Philippines is one of the largest labor exporters in the world, with millions working overseas across nearly every country on Earth. Nurses, seafarers, caregivers, engineers, and domestic workers leave home for years, sometimes decades. Entire childhoods pass through video calls and remittances. Yet these workers are celebrated as modern heroes. Their sacrifices fuel the economy, support families, and keep communities alive. The emotional cost is immense, but so is the pride. In airports, tears flow freely, hugs last longer, and goodbyes feel permanent, even when they aren't. Despite this global footprint, the Philippines remains deeply spiritual. Over 80% of the population identifies as Catholic, making it the largest Christian nation in Asia. But faith here is vivid, emotional, and woven into daily life. Processions shut down cities. Statues are carried barefoot through crowds. Millions flood the streets for religious festivals that feel more like emotional eruptions than ceremonies. Faith isn't quiet. It's loud, passionate, and deeply personal. It offers comfort when storms hit, when money runs out, when hope feels distant. In moments of crisis, prayer becomes both refuge and resistance. And yet, tradition and modernity collide in fascinating ways. The Philippines is one of the most active countries on social media in the world. Filipinos spend hours online, sharing stories, news, humor, and emotions with unmatched intensity. Facebook isn't just a platform, it's a town square, a newsroom, and a family reunion all at once. Viral stories spread faster than official statements. Public opinion shifts overnight. In a country where physical distance separates islands, the internet stitches people together. Digital life doesn't replace real relationships. It amplifies them. Let's talk about time, because in the Philippines it works differently. The concept of Filipino time is infamous. Events rarely start exactly when scheduled, and delays are treated with patience rather than frustration. This isn't laziness, it's cultural prioritization. Relationships matter more than rigid clocks. Conversations aren't rushed. Life is allowed to breathe. While outsiders may see inefficiency, locals see humanity. Time bends to accommodate connection, not the other way around. In a world obsessed with speed, the Philippines moves at the pace of people. Nature here doesn't just exist, it overwhelms. The Philippines is home to some of the world's most stunning landscapes. Underground rivers, emerald rice terraces carved by hand centuries ago, beaches so clear they look unreal, and forests hiding species found nowhere else on Earth. But this beauty comes with risk. Deforestation, mining, and climate change threaten ecosystems already under pressure. Entire villages depend on environments that could disappear within a generation. The fight to protect nature here isn't abstract, it's personal. When land dies, livelihoods vanish with it. History in the Philippines is heavy and complicated. Colonized for over 300 years, the nation absorbed influences from Spain, the United States, and Japan, yet never lost its core identity. Instead, it adapted. Traditions evolved. Languages blended. Resistance simmered. Even today, traces of colonial architecture stand beside modern chaos. Streets carry names of heroes who fought and died for freedom. Independence wasn't given, it was fought for piece by piece. And that history shapes a national character that is skeptical, proud, and deeply aware of sacrifice. Here's a fact many don't expect. Filipino kindness doesn't mean weakness. Underneath the warmth lies quiet toughness. Protests erupt when lines are crossed. Voices rise when dignity is threatened. The same people who smile easily also endure fiercely. Resilience here isn't loud. It's persistent. It shows up in rebuilt homes, reopened shops, and laughter after loss. Strength isn't displayed through dominance, but endurance. And that quiet strength has carried this nation through wars, disasters, and uncertainty time and time again. The Philippines is unpredictable. Plans change. Weather shifts. Traffic stalls for hours. Power cuts happen without warning. And yet, life continues, imperfect but alive. People adapt, improvise, and push forward. There's an unspoken understanding that control is an illusion, but community is real. This acceptance of chaos doesn't weaken society. It hardens it. Teaches flexibility, creativity, and patience. In a country where certainty is rare, people learn to thrive in uncertainty. So when people say the Philippines is wild, they're not wrong, but they're missing the deeper truth. It's wild because it refuses to be defined by disaster. Wild because joy survives where it shouldn't. Wild because humanity remains intact despite every reason for it to fracture. This isn't just a country. It's a living lesson in resilience, connection, and hope. And once you truly understand the Philippines, you realize something powerful. Some places don't survive because they are strong. They survive because they never stop choosing to care. Thanks for watching.